Hello, ladies and gents. It's been a couple of weeks, but I'm glad to be back with the podcast. A friend asked me the other day how the podcast was going and why I hadn't uploaded one in a while. Well, the reason being that at the start of this month, I was in Ibiza. Whilst I was there, however, I got into a conversation with someone who I thought I couldn't help but think would make a really excellent guest. And it's a pleasure to have him joining me today, Mr. Wayne Lineker. Wayne, it was a pleasure to get the chance to meet you earlier this month, and I've really been looking forward to this conversation. Now we finally got down to it. How's things?
Yeah. Firstly, nice for you to reach out to me, and thank you for inviting me on your podcast. Yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about anything you want to talk about. And but yeah, things are okay. I made a prediction in January that this year will be in between 2019 and 2020, and I was pretty much spot on. Yeah, it's been really good. Well, not really. It's been good, should I say?
Yeah.
And not been the disaster last year was, which was a complete disaster. And yeah, it got a little bit stronger every week, to be honest. But the problem we've got this year is we're not allowed walk-ins, and walk-ins are classed as people that just buy tickets on the day and just come and stand at the bars and stand on the dance floor and dance and this, that, and the other. But so there's normally be, I know there's 800 people in it today. There's normally be 1,600 people, so or 1,400, depending what restrictions are at the time. But yeah, that's the problem. But it's still great. It's I think this year people have actually seen the club for what it is and realised the actual beauty of it, really. Because normally you can't see any spaces anywhere, and like it's just like, but because it's a little bit more open this year, people have got more access to mingle with other clients, and I seem to have had more compliments about the club this year than I have before. But we're definitely going to go back to getting it packed out, though. It's obviously it's a business.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
definitely. And I mean, I was just going to say, I mean, there are a lot of topics that would be really interesting to discuss. Well, firstly, and you touched on some aspects of it there. I really want to talk about the last year and a half. People's lives have been impacted in so many different ways. Workplaces have had to completely revolutionize the way that they operate. I'm really interested to hear about your perspective on how the pandemic impacted your business over the course of time. And I'm sure, given the importance of the likes of international travel and the free movement of people, it must have been really challenging for you.
Yeah, it's been a battle, to be honest. Last year was completely devastating to us. On a history event, for example, on a Tuesday afternoon, I remember one time last year I walked into the premises, into the venue, 7:30 at night, where I'm normally walking into complete madness. You can't move. Everyone's hands are in the air. They're dancing on the dance floor, and it's going crazy. And I walked in, there was 3 beds taken. We've got 180 beds and tables, and that day I turned around, got in my car, and I cried all the way home. It was bad. But yeah. So, but the problem is with our industry is we can't adapt. We can't make it online. You have to breathe and live the atmosphere and the good times and the music and the music we play and every DJ plays. It's you can't get that same feeling at home online. And you know what I mean. All the girls are in bikinis, all the lads are in the shorts with their abs out. And But yeah, so it's been tough to adapt, but so we've just had to really wait until the restrictions have allowed us to progress over the last year, which has been a lot better this year. And the further into the year, I mean, the clubs are now going to open, believe it or not, for the last 2 weeks of the season. So that's great. We can start dancing again soon, and there's no mask now or anything like. You have to wear your mask to go to the toilet. What that benefits anyone, I don't know.
Yeah.
And if we do open the dance floors, you're going to have to wear the mask on the way to the dance floor, then take it off. Crazy rules, but, we have to respect them rules and, which we have done. We've done everything we can to accommodate the pandemic and the danger of the pandemic. And, but yeah, obviously everyone's really tired of it now. And people, what we've suffered is nothing in compared to, families losing their, losing parts of their family and stuff, through COVID. And so, yeah, we do respect that. And, but we are a business and we do have to keep going and we have to try to survive. And, but yeah, we're just going to do what we can do, really.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, as I said to you when we were talking on WhatsApp, that was my first ever time at OBeach earlier this month. And, as you outlined there, for the restrictions that were in place, it was still an excellent experience. You could see everything was just like, a well-oiled machine. The hostesses, the chefs, the bar people, everyone knew what they were doing, and everybody respected that. And, it was still a really enjoyable time. What I really wanted to ask you about, I think, especially from a business standpoint, what's great about OBeach, is the branding of OBeach, like the branding and the PR. Like, for example, just to look at another aspect of your businesses, for example, Lineker's, obviously you've used the name Lineker that's commonly associated with sports, but now Lineker's bars are commonly associated with sports broadcasting. Like, you can always go into a Lineker's bar and watch football whenever football is on. And OBeach, as I mentioned, what in particular stands out to me is, absolutely fantastic. You can see it in the backdrop there, the color orange. It's just tightly associated with OBeach.
Yeah.
You think of the circular beds in the pool. All these just little things that I think have just been a masterstroke in regards to the branding of OBeach. Did you have that in mind when, creating the business?
I mean, the branding's all done by Tony Truman and Gemma Charters, who's our marketing and brand manager. Obviously, it all gets put forward to me and the rest of the partners, but we always tend to agree with them. I think the masterstroke really was the Orange Cup, to be honest. If I do a post about the Orange Cup, it just gets so much interaction. Have you stolen one of these cups? I've just been playing on that for the last couple of years, and it's been really successful. I mean, I said if you can get out with one, you can have it, but it's difficult to get it out, so you have to think outside the box. But the Orange has become iconic now, and obviously the logo is recognised by everyone, and so I do see what you're saying. We've kept our colour scheme throughout the years. It's our 10th year anniversary next year, and we're super excited about that. We hope the restrictions are completely gone by then, and we can have a 10th anniversary that everyone is waiting for.
Yeah, certainly. Be nice to get myself over there for that. Like, something else that I wanted to ask, especially from I guess a PR, public relations aspect, is you yourself. I think it's fantastic as a business owner that you're so visible, especially around OBeach. You're always there. I've seen that post that you put up on Instagram about people always asking you for photos and how that can be in the most bizarre of situations. But at the end of the day, I think that leads to really good PR, like relationships with your customers and your staff. So can you just touch on how important you think it is as an owner of a business to be visible for your staff and your customers?
I just want to reiterate that it's not. I don't have to come to Ocean. I don't have to come every day. I can stay home and watch Loose Women if I want, but I don't really want to because I've got a venue full of people that now want to see me there. I find it quite bizarre, but that's just the way it's grown over the years, and now it's become a thing to get a selfie with me. People's like hen parties, they have a bucket list, and always number one's getting a selfie with Lineker. I mean, I can't walk down the street 10 yards now without, in Ibiza. But it's amazing, it's And I've always said, if I can make somebody's day 1% better by having that picture with them, I'll do it. I'll never ever say no ever, unless I look in a complete mess, which happens. But yeah, so that's my take on it. I'm super honoured that everybody asks, and people say to me, "Does it drive you crazy?" I said, "Does it not drive you mad?" I said, "It'll drive me mad if people stop asking." So till that happens, I'll carry on. But it's funny,
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's a brilliant outlook to have. At the end of the day, if you're making somebody's day 1% better.
But yeah, what it is, people appreciate that it's not a corporate company, and we've done so well that people are like, "Oh, this is actually real people that have opened this." It's not a corporate company that you never see the owners of, or this, that, and the other. And I think that makes a little bit of difference. People always want someone to associate a good time with, and unfortunately for me, that's me. I've got several partners in the business: my son Dwayne and Tony Truman, and a guy called Maxi. We all play our own part in this. My son runs the back of the ship, as we call it. He does all the work behind the scenes. Tony does all the events. So basically, they do all the work, and I take all the credit. But that's fine.
No, as long as you're on the receiving end of that,
Yeah, it is me really that's laid the foundations from way back in the day.
Of course.
With Tony as well, he's iconic in the party world with True Do's, and so we're just a really good team between us. I think we've got a lot of experience between us, and every mistake that there is to be made, we've made them, especially me, and that's where you learn from your mistakes. And yeah, 10 years ago we opened OBeach or Ocean Beach, and we never thought it would. You couldn't dream to envisage what success it would be, but it's been a natural flow over the 10 years, and yeah, we're very grateful.
Most certainly, and I think that's something that I really do want to move into now. Yeah. I understand what you're saying about people wanting to get photos with people who are considered of celebrity status or famous to some extent. But for me, for example, when I saw you, when I spoke to you, I'd much rather be able to have this sort of opportunity to sit down and talk and learn about the person and the story behind the success. So what I really wanted to find out about is the story that got you to where you are today, essentially. And hopefully from that, I can learn something from it. So if you don't mind, where did it all start for you? And how did you get to the point that you are today, essentially as an international entrepreneur?
Well, all happened by accident, really. I used to work on the fruit and veg markets with my dad. I left school at 14, 5 days before my 15th birthday. I took no exams, nothing. I learned everything I know from my dad and from being on the market. There's no better education than that, to be honest. Leicester Market was the biggest permanent market in Europe. I used to shout all the banana stuff and all that, the plums, and get your plums. Yeah, so when I was 25, 26, the supermarket started opening in the UK, like the big one-stop shops. Supermarkets never used to sell fruit and veg, so everyone used to come to the city centre to buy their fruit and veg, and it was vibrant. It was so busy. We used to take a lot of money. We used to do really well. It just died over a 2-year period, and I could see it only going that way. Because people just used to go to, Tesco, Sainsbury's, whatever, and buy everything in one place. So that I saw that coming, and I always, at that time, my wife at that time, the mother of Dwayne and Sean, my children, parents lived in Tenerife. And I was like, oh, I just want to move away from the markets now. I want to open a bar, and obviously I had a very famous second name, even though I never made it famous at the time. But so I thought I'm in an ideal opportunity here to open a bar, and I'll call it Lineker's. So it was at that time a sports theme. It's more than that now, but yeah. So I went to Tenerife. I opened my first bar, and it just went really, really well from day one. Got busier and busier. Got so busy we have to move premises to a bigger place in Las Americas. And yeah, it just went crazy. At that time, everyone used to go to Tenerife. Ibiza wasn't what it was today, and you know, everyone was just piling into Tenerife, and it was just a crazy time. And yeah, that laid all the foundations for me. And then I started buying into clubs and stuff like that. And yeah, and then Tony Truman approached me. He wanted to open a Lineker's in Ibiza, so we opened Lineker's in Ibiza, and then that led to opening Ocean Beach in 2012. Yeah, Tony came up to me. Well, once we've been involved in Lineker's since 2008, you know, he said we need to open a beach club in Ibiza, and so Tony and myself spoke about it, and my son Dwayne, and Tony found the perfect venue. And he called me one day and said, "Wayne, I think I've found the venue for us." I said, "Okay." I went down, I look at it, and I immediately seen it. I seen everything. So did Tony. You know, we were speaking and we were getting excited. You know, I mean, the problem is with opening things that we're opening now is so more or less impossible to get the right location because they don't exist anymore. So with the licensing and blah blah blah. But so yeah, we opened. Originally it was a wedding venue owned by an old Spanish family that were up for retirement. They'd had enough, so it was perfect timing. And the next door was owned by the same family, which was another restaurant. So we did a deal on the two places, and we knocked it all down. It looked too big. We were like, "Oh my god, this is too big," and now it's big enough. But yeah, that's the story. And then we took ideas from Vegas and all the famous pool party venues across the world, and we created Ocean Beach. Yeah.
That's really interesting to hear, especially different influences that had impacted decisions going forward in regards to the venue itself. I find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I wanted to ask, maybe a little bit of a detour. I know you mentioned that you were working on the fruit stalls in Leicester as a kid. Am I right in saying that you were on Leicester City's books when you were younger?
When I was 14, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to go training every night after school. But I went home on I think it was my 15th birthday. And I said to my dad, I said, "I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to go train anymore. It's just not for me. I want to be out with my mates. I want to go roller skating. I want to go this, that, you know." But yeah, I mean, the thing is with Gary, obviously, he had everything: dedication, commitment, you know, everything. I had none of that shit. I was just a crazy lad, just wanted to party. And he actually wrote a comment in his book, and he said that his brother had more skill in his little toe than I had in my whole body. So, which is a nice compliment from Gary. But yeah, I had all the skill, but I had nothing else. I had no dedication. All I wanted to do was turn up and play. That's it. So the training and all that. Same with cricket. You know, I was on Leicestershire school books with cricket as well, but I didn't want to do the training. You know, I just wanted to turn up and
play.
But that's
just wanted to turn up and play. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, get me home to the party. You know what I mean?
No, mate. It certainly proved a successful decision in the long run.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask about, I guess, that's really interesting to hear about how OBeach and other venues around, Europe have developed, like Lineker's and whatnot. But now you're in a real interesting era. I find, like, I studied a lot about sports broadcasting when I was in university. It's just an area that I hope to work in the future. And obviously with the advent of Lineker's, doing my research, I heard that Lineker's was one of the first places, in Spain that really latched on to showing English games abroad.
Yeah, got a funny story for that.
Go on.
So back in 1987, when there was no Sky TV, no nothing like that. There was just radio stations that played commentary now and again whenever they wanted to, and you couldn't rely on it, you know. But I had a friend of mine called Terry Bateman. He used to live in Waltham Abbey in Essex. And I called him up one day. I said, I've got an idea. I said, when England play or when there's a big game, it's on TV in the UK because you couldn't get it in Spain. It's impossible. I want to call you up. I want you to put the phone by the speaker on the TV, and I'll channel that through the speakers in my bar. And I've now got a live commentary of all the England games. You couldn't see anything, but it just went mad. It went absolutely mad. And all the other bar owners had gone, how's he doing it? But I had a phone in the bar, and I used to link the phone through the cables into the speakers. My mate used to sit there with it. Well, I used to stand the telephone next to the TV, and I used to have the commentary, and no one else had it in the whole of Tenerife. So it was crazy, but I could never give my secret away. But yeah, we got a free ride really for the first 3 years until Sky TV started dripping in and cable TV and blah blah blah. But yeah, so that became iconic with Linekers for the football.
Yeah,
but, good times.
Most certainly, and that's an excellent decision if I do say so myself.
You couldn't physically fit anybody else in the venue. It was just rammed all down the streets everywhere, just trying to listen to the game. No, no one.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. Especially, you know, as I say, I've got a keen interest in sports broadcasting. So to hear that as one of the earlier tactics prior to the likes of Sky and other sort of broadcasters, that's absolutely fantastic.
So, 60 quid.
What was that?
The phone call used to cost me about 60 quid.
Fucking hell. I bet you got that back in bar receipts though.
Yeah, in about 5 minutes, yeah.
Something else that I wanted to ask about, which I guess is a bit more modern, essentially, is the development of the likes of digital media and technology, which has impacted near enough every industry.
Social media.
Yeah, essentially, mate. Like over the last 20, 25 years, digital media has absolutely changed everything. I really wanted to find out for you, you know, how has that had an impact on your business over time, and how have you made it work so well in your advantage?
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous, really. I mean, you know, Instagram's become not just Instagram, Facebook, and all the social media sites, but Instagram in particular for us changed our business overnight. You know, what was happening was people were coming to the venue, taking pictures and posting, saying they had the time of their life, you know, 1,000 people a day. And it was going everywhere. And so everyone was like booking Ocean Beach, and the thing to do was as soon as you got Ocean, you had a picture, blah, blah, blah. And it used to be bad. You know, you don't need it. We didn't have to spend a penny on advertising anymore. The people advertised it for us, which without social media, we wouldn't be what we were today for sure. But yeah, that had a huge impact, but mainly with my profile at the start, and then obviously Ocean Beach opened their profile. And but yeah, I mean the traffic I get or I've had in the past from Ocean Beach posts is just phenomenal, really. And you know, if someone shares that to their 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers, that's another 2,000 people that's seeing it. It just goes and goes and goes and goes, and yeah, it's an amazing tool for us.
Yeah, and it's, as I say, it's brilliant that you've been able to recognize that and make that work fully for advantage.
Nathan, when I used to start posting, I never used to think about the free advertising aspects of it. It just it's just something I wanted to do. Yeah. I wanted to let people, you know, I was proud of what we'd opened, and then that latched on to people then posting and tagging me and tagging Ocean, and yeah, it just went mad. Yeah.
That's what it is, essentially. It's a marketing tool, I feel. I think it's a fantastic marketing tool.
Yeah.
And I was like,
if we open a new business, we'd set our stall out for social media, you know, to make sure the venue's Instagram. there's plenty of parts of the business or places of the business or props of the business that people want to take pictures of, like WikiWoo. You know, I mean, that's completely Instagram friendly, and people love to go there because it's an iconic place now to have pictures, and then pictures then get posted on social media, and hey presto, we got another free advert.
Exactly. Talking of Instagram, I came across an Instagram, sort of like a reel or a video that come up on my Instagram the other day, and it goes back to what you were saying before about making mistakes and learning from mistakes. It was a gentleman called Ken Robinson, who I didn't actually know, but he's from Liverpool, but that's irrelevant. He was given a lecture on how, I'm paraphrasing here essentially, I'm just going off the top of my head of what I can remember. It's hard to come up with anything original now because everybody's afraid of being wrong. He said essentially companies today and schools have stigmatized mistakes. So we're essentially educating people out of their creative ability purely from the fear of being wrong. Now, I know that's a bit deep, Wayne, but just going from what you were saying before about you've made every mistake in the book and you've learned from that. Are there any particular mistakes or lessons that you've learned from experiences that have benefited you today?
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to what they're saying because obviously I've took abuse online for many, many years for whatever reason. Most of it not my own fault, but the negative side of social media is obviously people abusing people. You know, like you got young influencers coming through the market now getting abuse, and you know, people taking their own lives because of it, and you know, that's had a big effect on me. I've lost good friends, Caroline Flack, Mike Theocetes, you know, and quite a few friends took their own life. My ex-girlfriend, Sophie Graydon, took her own life because of abuse online. So that's charged me up to open No Excuse for Abuse, which is a podcast that I do, which season 2 will start in November. So I do understand that. I have made mistakes, you know, posting stuff that's a little bit too controversial. But I don't regret them because they were all tongue in cheek anyway, and it's got me really to where I am today now, social media wise. And but I've learned from them mistakes, and I won't post anything now that's too controversial or could upset anyone in any way. So yeah, I do understand that, and it's just the world we live in, isn't it? So there is a positive side of social media. There's also a negative side. Yeah. But we're trying our corner for the up and coming people that are, you know, if someone goes onto Love Island, for example, they'll go in with 1,000 followers and they'll come out with 1 million. You know, that's hard to take for these people, and a lot of that 1 million people are just there to give abuse, and it's not right, it's not nice, and it affects their young mind. And you know, if you're in that place where, you know, I know so many people that took their own lives for just stupid things now, receiving abuse from people they don't even know, and so we're trying to help with that a little bit, and I do recognise it, and let's hope we can make a difference.
Yeah, certainly. That's a wonderful point that you do raise. I'm glad that you took it down that route of online abuse, and you know, as soon as season 2 of the podcast is out, just let me know, and I'll definitely promote it to the people that follow me. One of the things I would be interested to hear about is you talked about some of the trials and tribulations of coming up as a younger entrepreneur, saying moving away at 25, 26. Were there in that field, were there any particular mistakes that you made that you've learned from to run such successful businesses that you see today?
Yeah, location. Always. I mean, they're the big mistakes I've made. You know, in my industry, for example, you know, I've opened venues close to apartments that have then denounced, which is reported, the noise and this, that, and the other. I've had closures out of this. And I've opened venues that are down the road, but a lot cheaper rent. doesn't work. You know, you've got to be in the mix. Yeah, you can't. You know, there's no cutting corners in this industry. You've just got to go out there and find the right venue and property and go with it. But the backstreet, out the way properties, they don't work, and they never will. And they don't work for me, so they're not going to work for anyone else. Yeah, you've got to have such an amazing theme, an amazing thing going on with your idea or whatever. But you need to stick it in the middle of the action if you can. But yeah, those are the general mistakes. Noise is a problem. We're only allowed a certain amount of decibels at Ocean Beach, for example. We're allowed, I think it's 86 or 88 decibels, which is on the street. Inside the venue, you can do certain things like turn the speakers around facing each other and stuff like that, which will create a louder sound in the venue. But yeah, all those things are super important, but they can take you down in a minute, you know.
That's really insightful. I find that really interesting because even though it wasn't in that sector, like clubs and whatnot, I was looking at starting my own business up prior to the pandemic. But I just guess that the instability of the economy sort of just
it's a really tough time to open a new business. Really tough. You know, we opened a new venue last year called Bambaku next to Ocean.
Yeah,
we've done okay, you know, but it's been a real battle from day one. You know, obviously all the COVID restrictions and this, that, and the other we've had to abide by. It's been really, really difficult. But it's become a really popular place. So I think next year we'll start to really see the benefits. But yeah, really tough time to open new businesses. But now it's a good time to open a business because you can steal them.
Yeah, you'd like to tell me. You'd really.
There's a lot of, you know, a lot of people going skint, and yeah. So I mean, fortunately, we're financially strong at Ocean, so we've been able to survive. But there's a lot of businesses that are about to go under because of this pressure that this industry's received.
No, certainly. And on that note, I guess it'd be really interesting to hear. And I've made the note, you know, location. But have you any advice for any young up and coming aspiring entrepreneurs? And if you put yourself in their shoes around that age, 25, 26, when you did move away, what areas of your skill set would you say that you developed most?
Just knowing what the public want, really, because it's not what about you want, it's about what they want. It's the same as a DJ. You don't play music to yourself, you play music to the crowd. You know, you've got to be able to read that, and just be humble. Be humble in this world. Don't be rude. You know, you're not going to get anywhere if you're rude. You know, nobody's bigger than the next person. You know, just be nice, be polite. You know, be polite to the local authorities, be polite to your clients, be polite to your lawyers, you know, just be nice, you know. And I think that makes a big difference, you know, instead of, you know, nobody wants to listen to an arrogant person. They're never going to get very far. That's my take on it anyway.
No, certainly. There are definitely aspects to make note of, especially for any young entrepreneurs out there looking to build.
Well, you know, I think you can always approach people if you've got the right attitude. But if you're a little bit arrogant, they'll read that and they'll be like, yeah, job this guy on, you know. Yeah. You're humble and nice and polite, you know, people will give you your time. So yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, I like to think I was nice enough to you, Wayne. I was a bit drunk, but I still think
you're nice. Face it. Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. I've seen 1,000 people every day. I meet 1,000 people every day, and so I can eventually, at last, read people. And but yeah, you're a good guy, man. See it in your smile.
Cheers, man. I appreciate it. Well, listen, it has been absolutely fantastic to talk to you, Wayne, and I really respect the fact that you're someone that's always busy for a living, essentially. And what, again, I respect is that you live your life to your fullest. You've got a hell of a lot going on. I was reading up on the the expansion plans. If I was right, I'm saying in the likes of Dubai and Mexico that are in the pipeline. I know you've got a song that's out on the charts, and this last week you did a lot around Down syndrome awareness, which is absolutely wonderful. So a lot of initiatives that you are involved in, and you are welcome to promote all this now. Mate, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, the Down syndrome awareness thing's something close to my heart. I've been involved in raising money for Down syndrome people for, if that's the right term, sorry if it's not, people that have Down syndrome. And yeah, they're just beautiful people. They're always smiling. They're always happy. They've got no stress in their life because they don't have to worry about anything. They don't think about that, So I decided that a couple of years or last year to try and create a song for Down Syndrome Awareness Day, which was due out this March, which is Down Syndrome Awareness Day. But because of COVID restrictions, we couldn't make the video, we couldn't record, we couldn't do this, couldn't do that. So we've managed to record the song. We've now just recorded the video, or the snippets of the video, and it's all going to be edited and put together. I'm very excited for it. It's an absolute great song. Clark King sings the vocals with Victoria, my Down syndrome friend, one of them. She's doing the rapping. She's really funny. I think the public are going to like it, and I hope they do. Obviously, all profits and everything goes to Down Syndrome Awareness company in Darlington, and yeah, we're very excited about it.
Excellent. And just before we sign off, is there anything else that you'd like to promote and get out there to listeners and viewers?
No, we're all good. I'm happy. I'll let Instagram do the promoting for me.
Happy days. Wayne, as I say, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And who knows, maybe next summer we'll be recording one of these from OBeach.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah, you like to think so, mate.
Bring your equipment.
I will do.